Hi everyone and welcome back to the Broken Turnabout. Last time Phoenix Wright has made his appearance and he wants to testify for something he was not present for. At least that's what I think so far. We'll see. Just want to mention that I looked up the pronunciation of atroquinine. There is none because it's not a real word. I was kind of disappointed when I found that out. But quinine is an actual word and, well, US pronunciation is quinine. So, yeah. We'll use that as our basis to be able to pronounce atroquinine as I currently do it. Anyway, let's move on. What is going on right now? Yeah, we got extra time, but I have no idea what Mr. Wright's planning. Hello? Vera, are you alright? You didn't believe anything that devil said, did you? Of course not, Vera. The testimony was all lies. He said such horrible things about me, and the judge seems to believe him. Apollo, I'm scared. Don't worry, Vera. We're going to get you out of this. I hope. Apollo, is Vera going to be alright? I hope so. She's absolutely terrified of Gavin. His testimony really freaked her out. That Gavin, that Von Karma, what are they trying to accomplish with all of this madness? Isn't it obvious? The vote after revenge. Mr. Wright, what are you doing here? I thought you were in Karain. A little bird with a bag of science told me that you two were in a bind. I got here as fast as I could. Emma? Yep, she called and I rushed over. I came here straight from the train station, hence the street attire. But, boss, Von Karma already got the judge to throw out all of the evidence from the original trial. Sorry for laughing right there. That's including all of your investigation. What do you have left to testify about? Well, I still have a few tricks left up my sleeve. But it's Von Karma! Von Karma. To what do I owe the pleasure? Don't talk to me as though we're equals, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Fine, fine. In that case, do you want me to talk down to you? That's not what I meant, and you know it! Sorry, I'm not really one to pass up a joke these days. Enough of your foolishness, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You're coming with me. Going to prepare my testimony. Make sure it doesn't contradict your case. Mr. Wright isn't your witness, Von Karma. He's a witness for the defense. Ow! Does it look like I care? You can't do this, Von Karma. All these dirty tactics are going to get you disbarred someday. And who do you lot think you are to talk to me about dirty tactics? What? I told you that I did my homework, Mr. Apollo Justice, didn't I? Yeah, and? I could have you and Mr. Phoenix disbarred for that bloody ace of spades in your first trial. She knows about that? Yes, I forged this card. It was the only way to catch Gavin. But it still took me a while to forgive Mr. Wright for that. But if she knows about that... Wait. Why are you going through all of this? This whole trial? If this is about revenge, why not just turn Mr. Wright in for that? Then he'd be in jail. He'd be punished. You'd have your revenge. Isn't that what you want? Such a pitiful vengeance would never be fitting. You still misunderstand me, Mr. Apollo Justice. I would not just want revenge on Mr. Phoenix Wright. I am here to teach all of you a lesson as well. A lesson about how justice is not a tool of vengeance. And yeah, she's using justice as a tool for vengeance of herself. You know, hypocrisy. Mr. Phoenix Wright, you broke the system. The justice system. The one you swore you would uphold. And for what? Revenge. Stupid, simple, petty, foolish revenge. Isn't that what she's here for? For once in your sorry life, you lost. You lost a glittery fool because you did something stupid. What drove you to present that diary page? What kind of a fool do you have to be to do that? But that wasn't enough for you, was it? You just had to be bitter about it. You had to strike back. So you drag my little brother and Master Maya Fey into the mess and you get them to help you. With what? Breaking the system, of course. You lost the game, so you decided to change the rules. You couldn't leave quietly or admit your loss and start over. No! You had to get back at Gavin. You placed your own pride before the ideals you claim to believe in, right? And that I cannot forgive. That is what my vengeance is for. That is what my lesson is about. And by the Von Karma name I have reformed, I will see to it that it is scarred into your hide, right? Huh. Is that all you have to say for yourself? Of course not. I'm afraid we're out of time. Huh? Attention! Court will reconvene in 1 minute. Please enter the chamber. Kak, we've got to get back inside, quick! Come on, Vera, hurry. I know it's scary, but you got to get back in there. Gavin's gone now. Mr. Wright, what are we supposed to do? Ah! No collusion between the witness and defense. Mr. Phoenix Wright, you're coming with me. Mr. Wright! Don't worry, Apollo. When the time comes, you'll know what to do. Really? Yeah, when Wright is in that attire, he's always like cool and collected and seems to know everything ahead of time. Even though people thought the outfit was controversial, the portrayal was controversial back when it was first introduced. A lot of people like miss it for some reason, just because he looked so badass, and now he's back to like his normal self in the newer games. Anyway, I believe that this trial is more or less over. All that remains is Mr. Wright's testimony. Mr. Justice, is the defense ready? In all honesty, Your Honor, no, but the defense suspects that the court doesn't really care. You're darn right it doesn't! Now, is the prosecution ready? Mr. Justice, this circus has gone on long enough. I won't tolerate any courtroom antics. Am I clear? As a cloudless sky, Prosecutor Von Karma. Good. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Excellent. Let us get on with the testimony, yeah? Of course, Your Honor. Witness, state your name and occupation. Phoenix Wright. Piano player. Excuse me? I thought you'd been reinstated as an attorney. You said it yourself, Von Karma. I'm no more a lawyer than a pig is. This is getting weird. What's Mr. Wright's game here? What's he trying to do? It could be that's not right at all. That would be kind of a funny twist, but whatever. Look, I don't have time to deal with whether or not the man counts as a lawyer. Let's just get through the testimony and be done with it. Of course, Your Honor. Witness, please testify about whatever it was you felt so strongly about testifying about. Much obliged, Your Honor, Miss Von Karma. So, it's your job to prove that Christoph Gavin is the real murderer. Is that it? That's it? That's it? Mr. Wright, I hope you understand that this is a courtroom, not a comedy lounge. I do understand that, Your Honor. My testimony was borne with the utmost gravity. Somehow I doubt that. Mr. Justice, please don't tell me you still want to cross-examine. Well, what do? I have no idea how to handle this testimony. Should I still cross-examine? It gives me a choice here. So, yeah, I do want to cross-examine. Because, why not? Your Honor, the defense asserts its right to cross-examine the witness. This testimony contains information of vital importance. I hope. Well, it looks like we're not getting around it. Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. However, Mr. Justice, I want to make it clear that this will be the final cross-examination. I will not tolerate any distracting, pressing conversations. Just present your evidence and be done. And if what you present doesn't satisfy me, I can't truthfully say that I'll be very pleased. So that's, you guys probably can't see it, but it costs me about 60% of my life every mistake. Ugh! That's a really severe penalty. I understand, Your Honor. I won't waste the court's time. Good! Any objections, Miss Von Karma? I give the defense 40 seconds before it crashes and burns. There is absolutely nothing of value in this testimony, but I believe I can wait 40 seconds. All right then. Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination when you are ready. Apollo, are you sure about this? No, but we don't have another choice. If we don't cross-examine, the judge will find Vera guilty. Yeah, this is why I chose cross-examination. Good thing If you chose not to cross-examine, that would be guilty. Vera would be guilty. Mr. Wright has given us another chance. If we don't succeed here, it's over. Alright, focus. You've got this. No presses allowed. Present one piece of evidence. This is it, Apollo. If you don't figure this out right now, Vera's going to prison. You can't mess up. Your Honor, the defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Alright, Mr. Justice, you may begin. So, if you press, it's over. So, it's your job to prove that Christoph Gavin is the real murderer. So if I press, it's over. You guys can play the game yourself and press if you want. I'm going to do a safety save just in case and move on to the next piece right there. Yeah. What is Mr. Wright even asking for here? His testimony has nothing to do with the actual case. I get this feeling we might be overthinking the whole thing. Really? Yeah, I do. Try not to think too hard about how this testimony fits in with everything else. Just think over what the statement means and present anything from the court record that contradicts. Just think over what the statement means and present anything from the court record that contradicts. Is this game going where I think it's going? Alright, I need to find a contradiction and then present the contradictory evidence in the court record. Yeah, I have a feeling this Turnabout might have a good ending, but I don't know yet. I'm still playing this blind, and I'm really enjoying myself because of that. So, it's my job to prove that Christoph Gavin is the real murderer. Let's see. I want to try this. It's probably not the right thing to do, but I want to try this. Present Franziska. Ah, that's not it. Nah. Yep, that was really bad. I was kind of hoping it would be like, hey, it's not my job to prove Christoph Gavin is the real murderer. It would be Franziska because she's a prosecutor, but no, I guess not. Okay, I guess I'll do the obvious thing and show the news clipping. Oh, wow, that's not it. Okay. So now here I'm going to present Phoenix Wright's own profile. And that still doesn't do anything? Wow. Huh. I'm quite stumped. I absolutely have no idea what to show. Okay, so I just presented Vera Misham's portrait. I feel like I'm on the right track. I think there's something in the court record that better shows the contradiction, though. Okay, so by presenting Vera Misham's portrait, it did this, where he doesn't actually present the profile, but just thinks about it. However, I'm supposed to do something better than this. Wow! It's the attorney's badge. I should have been... that was so obvious. Well, only in hindsight, though. Anyway, it was staring us right in the face the entire time. The real contradiction of this whole messed up trial. Objection! Your Honor, I believe that the defense is now also mistaken the courtroom for a county lounge. He seems to be literally trying to present his attorney's badge as evidence. Mr. Justice! What is the meaning of this? What kind of mockery are you trying to make of this court? Well, I won't stand for it. I gave you a fair warning, Mr. Justice, and now you're going to pay the price. Hold it, yeah. Wait just a minute, Your Honor. You didn't give me a chance to explain myself. I promised my objection was completely serious. Fine, but make it quick. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, you can't be serious. How can you allow him to proceed with... Ms. Von Karma, I said I'd hear it out, and by gum, I'm going to hear him out. Don't interject and make this take longer than it needs to. Mr. Justice, proceed. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, could you please repeat what you just said for the court? Sure, I don't see why not. I said that it's your job to prove that Christoph Gavin is the real murderer. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Ms. Von Karma, would you say that is accurate? If you want to win the trial, then yes, that statement is accurate. That's where you're wrong. That is the contradiction. What? I'm a defense attorney. I was actually right from the beginning. It's just that I was not supposed to show Franziska's portrait. Order! Order! I will have order in this courtroom! Mr. Justice, explain yourself at once. Your Honor, the whole time we've been looking at the case wrong. Both sides falsely assumed that the only way to acquit Vera was to prove the guilt of another. Well, isn't that true? The evidence and testimony point to Vera. Since you couldn't disprove any of it, you need to prove another's guilt to win the case. Yeah, okay, now I see what this is all about. That's where you're wrong, Von Karma. It's why I presented my badge as the contradictory evidence. This badge proves that I'm a defense attorney. Nothing more and nothing less. Do you know what that means my job is, Von Karma? To prove that your client is innocent by proving Mr. Christoph Gavin's guilt? Wrong! As a defense attorney, my only job is to prove there is a reason to doubt the prosecution's case. Normally you're right, Von Karma. Many cases are solid enough that disproving the prosecution's case is needed to prove reason to doubt. But this case, don't make me laugh. Von Karma, you haven't proven a thing about your case. Mr. Apollo Justice, frankly, I'm astonished you would tell such a foolishly blatant lie in open court. What have I been doing this whole time besides prove my argument? And I have both evidence and testimony. Have you really proven anything? Von Karma, your case hinges on one witness's testimony, Christoph Gavin's. Do you have any evidence that confirms this story? We've been over this, Mr. Apollo Justice. His testimony fits with the stamp being the murder weapon. Furthermore, it explains the defendant's motives for the murder and her use of the stamp. Nice try, Von Karma, but you didn't mention anything that proved Gavin was being truthful with us. His testimony fits. It explains things. And we saw already that it doesn't contradict the evidence. Does any of that prove it is true? Von Karma, we seem to agree on one thing. The only way to prove Gavin is lying is to prove he did it. However, the defense asserts that it is under no obligation to prove Gavin is lying. Especially when the prosecution has failed to prove that he isn't. Ah! Order! I will have order in this courtroom! Mr. Justice, what does this mean? What ramifications are there to this revelation about the weakness of the prosecution's case? Your Honor, it means that another theory will be just as valid as the one the prosecution gave, so long as it doesn't contradict the evidence. Since the prosecution can't prove its witness's honesty and thus its theory is validity, I am under no obligation to prove myself. I must only not contradict the evidence. Are you saying you have a theory, Mr. Justice? What is it? I believe my theory would be best presented as a testimony by another witness. One whose testimony will be, for all the reasons I have stated, just as valid as Gavin's. Another witness? Whose testimony would be just as valid? Your Honor, this is the witness whose testimony would be just as valid as Gavin's, and I have to present someone. Vera Misham. I'm talking about the defendant, Vera Misham. The defendant? Why her? Prosecutor Von Karma, you said that you did your homework. So I know that you already know what Vera will say if we call her to the stand. She'd say that the real killer is... Christoph Gavin. Christoph Gavin! That Gavin was the one who hired her to... There's three choices. One of them is do the Macarena. And I won't get punished if I do that, I think. Either that or it will be over immediately. Anyway, the Gavin was the one who hired her to forge evidence. That Gavin hired her to forge evidence for him. That Gavin was also the one who gave her the... Okay, so three more choices. Poison stamp and nail polish. Loaded gun and butcher knife. Harmless stamp and atrocanine supply. Anyway, it's obviously poison stamp and nail polish. That Gavin gave her the poison stamp and nail polish. And the defense asserts that Gavin did this in order to... frame Vera Misham, or... What? Something stupid I could hear in your voice. What, really? I did the wrong choice? Okay, maybe I did a misclick, sorry. Cover up the forgery. Yeah, okay. I guess I might have, like, clicked on the other choice that I already forgot. Whatever. Well, would you look at that? A scenario that doesn't contradict the evidence. It even explains the methodology and motive of our killer. Who would have thought? Fact is, the only thing the scenario contradicts is Christoph Gavin's testimony. And I already explained why his testimony was no more valid than Vera's. My word! I think you're right, Mr. Justice. This scenario does make sense given the evidence. And seeing as there's no evidence that truly supports either testimony more than another, I seem to no longer have any real reason to believe the prosecution has over the defense. Seeing as this is the case, this court finds the defendant, Vera Misham. Yeah, obviously. Not done. Von Karma. Oh, for a second there, I thought it was Phoenix Wright. Miss Von Karma, why are you objecting? I'm sorry, but Mr. Silence, you foolish fool who foolishly listened to the foolish ramblings of a foolish fool. Mr. Apollo Justice, you have just made an error I can only describe as both critical and foolish. You claim that the defendant's testimony is just as valid as Mr. Christoph Gavin's? Ha! I will confess that you were correct when pointing out that I had no evidence to back the testimony. However, there is still one thing about the defendant that makes her less trustworthy in comparison. She is the defendant. Of course she has incentive to lie and implicate another. If another person is implicated for the crime, she will be set free. That is certainly sufficient motive to lie. And I already explained why Gavin's testimony could be trusted, Mr. Apollo Justice. He is already on death row and received no deals for his testimony. Unlike the defendant, Mr. Christoph Gavin has no reason to lie today. And this is where that news clipping is gonna come in. My word, Miss Von Karma, you're right! I've never seen such a blindingly fast turnabout. What a remarkable use of logic. It seems that the defense's argument is the invalid one after all. It's true that the prosecution's witness has nothing to back him. However, the defense's witness has a count against her that gives reason for doubt. The theories are not equally valid. You nearly slipped out by me, Mr. Justice, but it didn't work. No, this can't be happening. How'd you turn it all around so quickly? Oh, what? The judge is about to hand down his verdict. Should I raise an objection? Yeah. With no further objections, this court finds the defendant, Vera Misham. Mr. Justice, Mrs. Sykes, what is the meaning of this? Can I not hand down a verdict in peace? Huh? Of course, it's what's this objection supposed to be about again? There's a problem, Your Honor. A problem, eh? Where's this problem? The problem is in the prosecution's last statement. Well, the other choices are prosecution's reasoning, prosecution's hairstyle, and prosecution's last statement. I think it's the last statement, she said. The problem is in the prosecution's last statement. The prosecution's last statement? Miss Von Karma. Miss Von Karma, the court has need of you awake, not asleep. Huh? Oh, apologies, Your Honor. I zoned out a little. I assumed you were ending the trial. Not quite, Miss Von Karma. The defense claims that there's a problem in your last statement. Foolishness. My last statement was as perfect as any other statement of mine. Nonetheless, I figured we have the time to hear it once more. The defense has been almost right enough times today that it deserves one last chance. Very well, Your Honor. Give me a moment to recall this statement and I'll recite it back perfectly. Thank you, Miss Von Karma. Now, Mr. Justice, I want this to be clear to you. This will be your final chance. If you fail to convince me here and now, I won't even penalize you. I'll end the trial with a guilty verdict. Understood, Your Honor. I swear the combined stress and pressure are going to kill me someday. You get one chance, Mr. Justice, and that's it. Present the evidence that proves the problem. If I don't like it the first time I see it, it's the guilty verdict for your client. Whatever you have planned, it had better be good. Your Honor, I'm ready to recite my last statement. Excellent. Now this isn't going to be an official cross-examination, so we'll skip our usual rigmarole. Just cut to the chase, Justice. Present if you present. Yeah, I get it. Vera's found guilty. Don't scrub Justice, don't scrub Justice, don't scrub Justice. Alright, I believe we're all ready. You may begin. Rebuttal. Neat. I like the defendant, Mr. Kafka has no lie today. So, safety save, just in case. Apollo, this is your last chance. I know it, then. I know. You don't need to place such much pressure on me. Sorry. Just trying to make sure you focus and are careful. Hey, Mr. Wright. Shh, don't let Von Karma notice. She might get upset. Here's one last piece of advice. You've been doing great, Apollo. This is like my testimony. A lot rides on it, but it's simple in the end. Back to the basics. What does the testimony mean, and what evidence in the court record contradicts it? Everything will follow from there. Well, I'm gonna present the news clipping. Maybe I'm supposed to present something else first, but that's the obvious thing as far as I know. Yeah. No reason to lie, you say? I find that hard to believe, Von Karma. If you're trying to get me to slip up, Mr. Apollo Justice, it won't work. That's not what I'm trying to do, Von Karma. I have the evidence that proves the problem. Take a look. This is a news clipping about the original Misham trial and the jury system's rejection. Look at page 2 in particular. You'll see a quote there from Gavin himself. I must apologize, Mr. Justice, but could you read the clipping aloud? I forgot my reading glasses today. Of course, Your Honor. And I quote, I will get my revenge on him and Justice before this is over. Him being Mr. Wright, and Justice referring to myself. Gavin was livid at the outcome of the original Misham trial. Given this, his motive to lie is clear. He wanted to enact his vengeance by telling a lie that would change the outcome of the trial. Order in the court! Mr. Justice, are you claiming that Mr. Gavin's testimony was a complicated fabrication? Yes! One crafted for revenge against yourself and Mr. Wright? That's exactly what I'm saying, Your Honor. The news clipping proves it. If Gavin could change the outcome of the trial, Mr. Wright's work of 7 years would be undone. Mr. Wright would lose, and Gavin would emerge victorious over his enemy. What we have here is a clear reason to distrust Gavin. A clear reason to think he might lie. If Vera is untrustworthy, then so is Gavin. Your claim that we can only trust Gavin is invalid, Von Karma. Ah! We're back to where we were right after Mr. Wright's testimony, Your Honor. It's a he said, she said situation. I can't prove that I'm right, but neither can Von Karma. Either Vera's lying to avoid prison, or Gavin is lying to get revenge. Both scenarios are equally likely. Hold on, Mr. Apollo Justice. There's one mistake that you've made. One critical error that aroused the notion that Gavin lied in order to get his revenge. Keep reading the clipping and you'll see what I mean. It says that Mr. Christoph Gavin's testimony includes the Congressional Committee's decision. The jury system was also Mr. Phoenix Wright's work of 7 years. If Mr. Christoph Gavin was in search of revenge, wouldn't you have found it in the jury system's rejection? Objection! Wrong again, Von Karma. You should know better. I don't have any evidence per se. But I do know of another person who could only be satisfied by vengeance through the courts. Someone who could have found revenge another way, but instead wanted to defeat Wright in this trial. If there exists a person who felt this way, then it isn't unreasonable to think it's possible Gavin did too. And this other person whose thirst for revenge could only be satisfied through this trial is... not Drew Misham. Franziska. It's you, Von Karma. You're my final piece of evidence. During the recess, we had a discussion in the lobby. I won't go into the details since you were there, but I want you to remember what we talked about. We talked about your revenge, Von Karma, about how you'd only be satisfied with winning this trial. Even though another, much simpler avenue of vengeance was available to you. Von Karma, you're perfect, all right. You're the perfect example to prove my point! No, it can't be! That's impossible! Face the facts, Von Karma. Vera's scenario fits the evidence, and you can't disprove her testimony outright. The witness that forms the linchpin of your case has a clear motive to lie about everything. The theory behind that motive is solidified by your own desire for revenge. In short, the evidence supports my theory, yours equally, and you have no advantage. Von Karma, your case doesn't have a leg to stand on, and now you know that. You were only able to get this far using dirty tactics and cheap tricks. Your case was never anything more than a paper tiger, Von Karma. All bark and no bite. This is nice music. Order! I will have order in this courtroom! Be orderly or I will have you all held in contempt! Miss Von Karma! What do you have to say for yourself? The prosecution rests. Wait, really? Mr. Apollo Justice is right. I truly have no case to speak of. The prosecution sees no reason to pursue charges or continue a trial. That is all. Well, that was anticlimactic. I was hoping for a breakdown, but it would have required some customs rights. If I may say, I believe we reached the end of a very long and winding path to justice. You deserve my apologies, Mr. Justice, Miss Sykes, Miss Misham. I misjudged you all. Wow, you don't say. What? Pshaw, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Actually, it isn't fine, but you won't catch me saying that to the judge. Thank you, Mr. Justice. That's a load off my chest. Now, if the prosecution has anything it would like to add? No, she's gone. That's peculiar. It would seem that Miss Von Karma decided to leave early. Well, we don't exactly need her around to end the trial. I think I'm ready to hand down my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Vera Misham, not guilty, finally. Court is adjourned! So true Significant appears, or maybe she'll appear at the ending, yeah. Oh my gosh, we actually won. We actually made it through after all. I think I'm just about ready to faint. Apollo, you did it! I told you could win the case, and looky here, you did! Thanks, Athena. I just wish it hadn't been so close sometimes. Yeah, I guess you could work on your techniques a little. Hey, give me a break. I won the trial and got Vera acquitted, didn't I? Only with the assistance of yours truly. I deserve some credit, don't I? Alright, we did it. Say, how's Vera doing now? Vera, how are you feeling? We won the trial, you're free again. I knew you'd win the trial. I said that I trusted you, didn't I? Vera, she looks so happy, so trusting. I think tears are starting to come from my eyes, or to my eyes. Say, Apollo. Yeah, Tina? There was something really off during the whole trial that I can't wrap my head around in retrospect. Oh man, I didn't miss something important, didn't I? It's about Von Karma's emotions. Didn't miss anything important. It's just really strange. Her emotions were all over the place during her trial. At first there was this mix of happiness and anger, typical revenge emotions. But then I noticed this hint of sadness, that it just grew, and especially when we started losing. When we started losing? Weird, I know. I was wondering if you had any ideas that might explain it. Me? Aren't you the psychologist? Yeah, this is a thing in every Ace Attorney case, or most of them anyway. At the ending, there's this one extra piece of evidence that you can present to someone that might unlock an extra bonus dialogue. What would explain such conflicting emotions? Okay, I have choices here. Constipation? Guilt? Grieving? I want to say guilt. Maybe. Hey, I'm no psychologist, so I don't even know why you asked me. Doesn't that make sense, Mr. Wright? I wonder where he went. Ah, well, the boss can take care of himself. As for us, I say we go out and celebrate. Celebrate? Yeah, a little kudos to us, sort of thing. What do you think? Well... Emma! Hey, everybody. How'd you like my summoning of the cavalry? It was much appreciated, Emma. Thanks. I really don't know where we'd be otherwise. Don't mention it, Apollo. Ain't it to get back at that snooty, bratty, I'm so perfect prosecutor. Say, Emma, Apollo and I were thinking of going out and celebrating. Would you like to join? When was it ever my idea? Sounds like fun. I'm up for it. Hey, hold on. Before we make any plans, let's see what Vera thinks. It was her trial, you know. Vera, what do you think? Do you want to go out and celebrate somewhere? I know a small restaurant. I went there a couple of times on my own. It has nice food. On your own? Nice going, Vera. That's actually a pretty huge deal for someone like Vera. There are also booths, so we can eat with some privacy if we went there and no one was too loud. I like that. Vera. This is what makes all that stress worth it. Seeing Vera so happy with her second chance. This is what being an attorney is all about, giving people a second chance. Alright, it's settled. We're going out. Tabs on Apollo. Huh? Works for me. I can provide a ride since Apollo here is lame and can't drive. Huh? Huh? Is it typical for Apollo to pay for the entire bill? Huh? 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 Of course it is. Am I right, Apollo, or am I right? Why is it that lately, all I want to do is scream? Well, here goes nothing. Objection! Yay! Oh, okay, it's not over, and all my evidence is gone now. Well, no, not the evidence, the profiles, rather. For someone in heels, Von Karma sure runs fast. No, I could have sworn I saw her come this way. We're playing as Phoenix now. Ugh! I guess I should have expected that. What on earth are you doing here, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Can't you see I wish to wallow in peace? My apologies, I didn't realize perfect people did anything as foolish as wallow. Sorry, that was a little mean. I just wanted to see how you were doing. You seemed pretty stunned near the end of that trial, and then the way you up and left? Well, a guy's allowed to worry about his acquaintances, isn't he? What a foolish sentiment. Only a foolish fool would foolishly have and then foolishly share. There's no need to worry about me. I left because I was angry and bitter, and I couldn't stand staying. You know, I might be tempted to believe you. Except there's one piece of evidence that I can't help but find odd. It's not like it isn't genuine or shouldn't exist. It's just strange that I found it in the court record. And you know, this one piece of evidence kind of makes me think you didn't really want to win. Don't be foolish, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Of course I wanted to win. I'm a Von Karma. Really? That's not what the evidence suggests. This is a strange piece of evidence that suggests you didn't actually want to win the trial at all. So it's either the news clipping or the atrocanine data. Yeah. But technically speaking, I could show some other things. There's no profiles for me to show. Okay, it has to be the news clipping because on the third page it says, while little has been officially said on the matter by either congressional representatives or federal investigators, an anonymous federal agent did say that at least one of the jurists was most probably biased towards the defense. So I think it's just that Von Karma wanted a fair trial. That's my current thoughts right now. Let's see what it is. Take that! It's this news clipping right here. Don't make me laugh, Mr. Phoenix Wright. That's a clipping about Mr. Christoph Gavin, not me. I wouldn't be too sure about that, Von Karma. You see, I'm not interested in the clipping's contents. I'm interested in the facts that it's in the court record at all. This clipping is about Gavin. It proves he has a motive to lie and get Vera found guilty. But it doesn't really do anything else. It has no reason to be in the court record at all. Well, yeah, that must be it. And yet, you were the one who put the clipping into the court record. I know you're more careful than that, Von Karma, so I don't think you would have put the clipping in unless you wanted Apollo to have a chance to win the trial. You always were perceptive, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I should point out that when I first undertook this task, I intended to crush the defense completely. There wasn't a doubt in my mind that you fully deserved everything that I had planned for you. I was going to destroy everything you worked for. The jury system, Vera Misham's not guilty verdict. Gavin had already destroyed the jury system for me. Then he was gracious enough to facilitate the destruction of your hard-won verdict against him. After that, it was child's play to undo your carefully orchestrated trial on charges of corruption. Honestly, did you really think that your political machinations wouldn't have repercussions? Well, after 7 years, a man can get a little impatient. That's no excuse. Either way, I believed you to be fully deserving of my vengeance, given the crimes. First, you were so foolish as to present suspicious evidence in court and get yourself disbarred. Then, when I try to contact you, I find that you've shut the entire world out in favor of wallowing. I was so not wallowing that time. Then, 7 years later, you re-emerge. And do you do what? You forge evidence! You attempt to eliminate the laws of evidence and proof. You orchestrate a verdict. You, who had sworn to fight for truth and justice! You turned your back on it all for revenge on Gavin! Hey, that wasn't all. The system really was screwed up. I was only trying to make things better. Do you really think there was nothing good about it? It's at least better than the initial trial system. Whether it was an improvement or not is not my point, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Maybe it was a good idea. But why use the Misham trial as the test? Why take your quest for justice with personal vengeance? You were angry that my motives weren't pure? In a way, yes. You have been such an idealist in the past. It enraged me to see you'd fallen so far. So, I planned my revenge. I arranged the trial and analyzed the accepted explanation for holes. I determined how to take away every advantage you or your protégés would have. I worked with Gavin. We polished the testimony until it was unassailable. And then, this morning, I realized something. I had become everything I hated about you. Political machinations, use of a trial as vengeance. In the end, I was the fool, but I had already gone too far. I ignored my preoccupations and pressed on. I lied to myself, said your crimes justified such drastic measures, and I did that until I believed it. But I suspect some part of me still saw my folly, and ultimately I put the clip in the court record. I told myself it was part of the revenge, but really, it was my hope that everything could be made right. I've been nothing more than another fool, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I don't know if I can forgive myself. I should apologize. Excuse me? What do you have to apologize for? I'm the one who's been foolish. No, Von Karma, you're right. I did let my morals go during those 7 years to get my revenge. I figured I was doing something to change things for the better, so it was justified. But it wasn't, really. And I paid the price. Because I dragged my grudge against Gavin into the jury system test. It looked suspicious, and he was able to get it rejected. So, in some ways, you're right, Von Karma. We've really both been prideful, arrogant fools. I'm sorry, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I've caused considerable undue pain and heartache for petty reasons. As I said, I'm not sure if I can ever forgive myself. I'm uncertain if I even belong in the courts anymore. Heh. All is forgiven, Franziska Von Karma. From one broken fool to another. Ha! Broken fools. How accurate. Yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it? So that's why it's called a broken turnabout. Genius! I like it. I liked it a lot. It fits well into the canon, too, if you want to, like, yeah, Athena Sykes sprites by... Good job. They weren't too bad. I really like how this turnabout fits into the canon. Not perfectly, and if Capcom ever decides to reintroduce Franziska or revisit this case or Apollo Justice at all, really, it would, in fact, be, you know, not more canon anymore, but it still was great. What is this music? Was this from Apollo Justice? I think it is. I don't remember it very well, but it sounds okay, I guess. Yeah. Well, whatever the case, what do y'all think? More Ace Attorney? Was it too much? It was only like 4 episodes long, but I can understand if some of you wanted me to focus on my other more popular content for the time being. I might still do some more Ace Attorney cases on my own time, just in case, though, because it was like I was supposed to do my another Metroid 2 remake speed run. Oh, cool! The broken turnabout right there. I was supposed to do my another Metroid 2 remake hard mode 100% speed run instead of this, but I ran out of time, so that's why I decided on a whim to play this, because it was in popular demand for me to play another Ace Attorney case and yada yada yada. Ah, here's Trucy, finally. For my next trick, I'm going to need someone to be my assistant. Oh, me! Please pick me to be your assistant. Sorry, you weren't quick enough, Master Maria. There's already another volunteer. And he's already on stage! Whoa, that was amazing! A birthday party with a Gummery magician. And Clavier Gavin, this is the best birthday party ever! Mr. Gavin, a word while Miss Faye is watching the magic show. Certainly. What is it, Herr Edgeworth? I just wanted to thank you for doing this. I'm afraid I owed Wright a favor, and, well, I suppose now I owe you one, too. Say nothing of it, yeah, Edgeworth. As if I would really turn down a chance to sing and play guitar for my pretty frolics. Yes, of course. Eventually, someone is going to have to tell him his German pronunciation is atrocious. Mine is too. All this for a birthday party. So this is the urgent business you called me for, right? Typical, right? Sometimes I worry he cares too much. Ah well, I suppose it's a minor fault. I wonder how he's faring against Franziska. Well, he hasn't phoned me for help yet, so... Franziska may have whipped him into hospitalization. I should probably go check on them. Yeah, in case you were wondering, the reason why Edgeworth has glasses is because he has glasses in Dual Destinies. He does make an appearance there, even though it's a little brief. The end? Nothing else? Great. Yeah, that was good. I liked it a lot. No, if you want to try yourself, just look in the description below. Until next time, though, hope you've all enjoyed this video, and I'll have a very nice day. Bye-bye!